Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Sorry, we're a minute late. Just figuring out one or two of our settings. Thanks for everyone for joining. We'll get going in the next minute, just waiting for everyone to join in, and then we'll get going with today's webinar. Okay, it looks like everybody has more or less joined in. 2 minutes past the hour. One or two still trickling in, but I think we can get going. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Thanks for joining today's Power Hour, topic being back to basics. With me today is Ben Messer, Product Manager on the geospatial side, and Charlie Sorg, looking after the construction side of TBC. Guys, thanks for joining me. We'll jump around between the three of us going through various settings and workflow tweaks and bits that we have seen in TBC that people do tend to question us about still. And we thought we'll just put everything in one big webinar, so you guys can also always go back to it and just see the stuff that we're showing today for your reference going forward. Quickly on the topics, we'll just go through the TBC UI, UX, looking at stuff that we think is relevant for everyone to know, things that's changed recently, things that's updated. Then we'll jump into a bit of a live demo showing some of the stuff for you guys in TBC and where you can find it and how to set it up and how to work with it. Q&A will be open, so please use the Q&A in your Zoom toolbar. The chat is something we won't look at too much, so please try and use the Q&A for any questions. Whenever you have one, please populate that for us and we'll get to as many as we can. Even if we don't get to your questions, we'll definitely answer them afterwards. The Q&A does give us your email that you signed up with, so we can always respond if we don't get to all the questions. With that, let's start off with this. Before I go, Ben, Charlie, anything from your side? You good to go?
Not really. I'm all set to go.
Let's get going. Okay, guys, so let's start off. Most important, or not most important, first thing we usually have to look at is your options in TBC. So this is just the general options that aligns with what you see in TBC. First of all, you'll see the list up there. So the little icon will be in your top quick access toolbar as well as the main tab. We'll show you where that is. There you can set up all your settings according to what your preference are. If you look at display settings, one of the interesting ones down here is the use large icon, which you find down there. So if your quick access toolbar icons are very small at the top, you can always enlarge them by simply clicking on that little tick box over there, just above advanced drivers. That'll enlarge your quick access toolbar icons for you. Other things, you can set your fonts, what you want to use, if that's something specific for your grid lines and object labels. That can all be preset, so every time you utilize TBC, that will be what you can use. If you go to manage options, that's where you can actually save this as well. So if you want to set this up and then reinstall TBC and you do the cleanup utility like we always recommend you do, then all these settings will be lost. Luckily, if you use the manage options, you'll find a way to save it and you can then always reload them by simply importing those options that you saved previously, and you don't have to redo this every time. Project management, this is just a quick view of where your files would be saved. So if you want to ever change any of this, you can do it. Recommendation is if you're using something for production, do not change one of those folders to anything outside your solid state drive that's on your laptop or desktop. The performance will be affected if you're using an external or a network server to pull data from. That's especially when you're using stuff like point clouds and aerial photogrammetry data. The best is, and the recommendation is, to always use your solid state drive on your laptop or desktop. File locations, that is where you can export your libraries and processing files, where they go, the templates, you can see where that is stored. So if you have a specific file location for your business or for your company that you want to set up and everybody can link into that one, you can always change that over here so everybody works in the same folder and make it all findable in there. You can see your sync stuff for Works Manager. Everything there is the folder that you can find that data if you need it. Last one
Hey, Albert,
is, yeah, go for it, Ben.
could you back up one for
Sure.
file locations?
Oops.
One thing I just, yeah, there we go.
Mm.
One thing I just want to point out for the temporary processing file folders, if you have two solid state drives on your PC, and you're big into mobile mapping or photogrammetry, this is something that I highly recommend you back up or you switch to, say, your D drive, your second drive, because during the processing, there's a lot of folders a lot of files that are generated, and I highly recommend the massive amount of temporary files during that process be stored or temporarily stored on your D drive. Obviously, if you just have a C drive, it doesn't really matter, but if you have two solid state drives or more on your PC, I recommend that. If you're planning to temporarily store that on your network drive or your external hard drive, there could be issues with that. I don't necessarily know what those issues could be, but there could be issues with storing that on a network or external. But there again, if you have two solid state drives or more on your PC, I recommend switching that to your D drive.
Okay. Thanks, Ben. Just found the laser, which helps in this kind of environment. There we go. Point clouds, just wanted to call out this little bit over there. So as you can see that, always important to check that. TBC defaults to 8 gig of RAM if you install it fresh. So if you want to utilize more of your RAM, if you have 64 or 128, whatever it might be, and you would like that to be allocated, simply type in the amount. TBC will always default back, or not default, TBC will always take 50% of what you have available. So for me, I have 64 gigs of RAM on this laptop. I can type that in there and it will automatically drop it down to 31.37 as the 50% of that. That helps a lot with point clouds when you load large data sets in there. This will help with rendering and saving that into the cache and make it easier to work with in TBC. Next up is project settings. So one of the most important tools and commands in TBC that you will always utilize with every project. First and foremost, all your project settings, all your parameters, the tolerances, the coordinate systems, and more is where this is getting set up in TBC. So whenever you need to change anything, this is the panel you will go to, the command you will go to do that. In here, you can even set up yourself, your company, client names, anything like that. So when you generate any reports out of TBC, it will automatically grab that information under there where you can see company information. If you stick the information in there, that will always get populated then into any report you bring out of TBC. So it will easily then be for you to have that in your reporting in TBC. Let's see the next one. Oops, here we go. So that's the company information. Let me just take that out there. Company information, user information. So you can even input the user that was in the office doing the drawing. And if you have a specific field operator and that's something that you need to take note of, that can be done as well. Let's see if I can get the laser to look better. Nope, not today. Okay. Figure that out just now. Then your coordinate system, this is where you set this up. At the bottom, there is where you change it. So once you click on that, you'll have an option. You can do a local site. You can choose any of the, Ben, what is the amount of coordinate systems we currently have in the Trimble library for coordinate systems, just off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, we probably have maybe 3,000 with the inclusion of the new NS or shit. The new NGS low distortion models for the United States. There's about 900 that was introduced with the new coordinate system database 111. So
Okay.
NATRF 2022. Thank you, Michael.
There we go. So guys, we have a comprehensive list of coordinate systems, and that is getting updated regularly. It's about 2 or 3 times a year, Ben, am I correct, that we update and make changes to that coordinate system database? So it is something that we're actively working on, updating, improving, and enhancing as we go forward. So you will find it very comprehensive in there. Next up is units. So this is where you can set up the different units in TBC. So you can look at your coordinates. As you can see over there, that's the easting, northing elevation. If you click on that, everything that is in light or dark blue, you will be able to actually change it in there. So if you want to change the way you look and feel in TBC for anything, this is where you go into. You can see the latitude, longitude. You can set up how many decimal places you need. That is for coordinate, for elevation, trailing zeros if you want it. The display for suffixes, latitude, you can actually change that. If you don't want degrees, minutes, seconds, you want decimal degrees. This can all be done simply using this. So as you can see, we have it for coordinates, distances, vertical, pressure, temperature. It goes down all the way to energy and even roughness index. All that allows you to set up, pre-set up anything and everything you need in TBC relating to units. Again, this can be saved as well, so you can actually save these and have it ready the next time you do installing TBC.
One thing real quick, Albert, can you
Yep.
go back a slide? That relative field at the top there where it says the @ symbol, that kind of one of those that maybe you aren't quite aware of what that is used for. So if you're in, for instance, a distance field in TBC in a command or a coordinate field, if you use @ 200, for instance, it will iterate a distance of 200 meters or feet, whatever unit you're in, from that previous coordinate. So it's basically just a distance offset instead of having to actually punch in the coordinate, the specific coordinate of the location you're looking for. So it's kind of a quick way when you're having to manually enter some coordinate fields to do it fairly quickly if you're going by distance units there.
Okay, great. Yep. Thanks, Charlie.
Yep.
So all that can be set up. If you go into the next one, view, this relates to what you actually see in TBC. And there is a lot of options in here. Alignment editor, you can click there. You can set up what you want to see there. As you can see, there is for cross sections, display options. You can even go and look in there. One I wanted to highlight out here was the point spreadsheet. So at the moment, this point spreadsheet gives you, I think, about 6 or 7 columns. If you want to enhance that and have more columns available, this is where you can go. So you can see at the moment, we're hiding the layer in which the points are. The attributes is hidden. Description 1 and 2 is hidden. You can simply go and switch that on to show. And when you create a point spreadsheet, all these values will show. If you want to see the latitude, longitude, that you can switch on over there. You'll see the global coordinates even further down. So if you want to add any of that and you need the information, let's say somebody wants a local coordinate and you need that in your point spreadsheet, simply go in here and switch that on. When you generate your point spreadsheet, you will be able to see that. And as you can see, there is for sheet view, for station navigation, profile view, all that has different view settings that you can go and change in TBC. So there's a lot of stuff that you can go and play in here with. I think if we have to go through all of this, we will probably do a webinar just for that, to go through each and every setting. So we're trying to get through a lot more other stuff. So we won't be going into each of these, but very important that you know where to find it when you need to change anything that you view in TBC. Computations. This is probably the most important one as well in this. This is where you actually set the computation accuracies for anything that you will calculate or do in TBC when working with it. So as you can see at the moment, if you go into point tolerances, this is where you can actually set up what the tolerance of the points are when it's survey quality, mapping, unknown, and if you have to merge points, you can actually tell it what you need it to do and what the tolerance should be as well. Same for GNSS vector. So that is where you actually tell it, if my GNSS vector is not within a certain range of what I need the accuracy to be, this is where you set it up, and TBC will automatically then pop that nice little red flag that everyone loves so much in TBC. You will see it there, and you can easily track which points are within the specific tolerance you had for your project going forward. The same can be done for mean angles, photogrammetry, excuse me, as well as drill plans, massal, road surfaces. There's even settings for that, Aztec points and field data. All those computation accuracies can be set in this page. Default standard errors. This is also an important one, especially when you start working with baseline and network adjustments. Important to note here is you will see TBC automatically picks up the information of what kind of total station or what kind of GNSS you used from the imported files. So why is this important? In Trimble Access, if you use a job file that comes from Trimble Access stores all this information about the accuracy, the offset, all the accuracy of the measurement, of the EDM, of everything in the total station or the GNSS in that file. So when you import that, it already knows the source for standard errors and the centering error for that specific instrument. So that is a very important little bit there. When you start working really accurate and you want to get the best accuracy, this is important to check and make sure that this is imported correctly. If it doesn't pick it up through the file, let's say using any third-party instruments, you will have to physically go here and actually make sure that that source of centering error is then actually inputted by you as the user. Otherwise, you will bring in a small little error into your work if you're doing network adjustments that might influence the accuracy that you get. So take note of that. You will see we do have it for, you can check your total station, your leveling instrument, your GNSS. That's usually where you will find those centering errors that you need to go check and make sure that they are accurate according to the instrument. As I said, if it's through Trimble Access, the job file will have all that information. If it's third party and you're just bringing in a CSV file, then you'll have to go check these values to make sure you're doing accuracy for your job. Next up, the Project Explorer and the View Filter Manager. So Project Explorer is where you can see everything that is in TBC. It will have little drop-down nodes. As you can see, there's your points, your point clouds, or the scan stations. And if you click on the little drop-down triangle next to the side of it, you will see all the information there. So you can see the imported files that I've done. This is where you can view all of that. And then Charlie will show us a little bit later about tagging these files to organize it. So you can actually add a prefix or a suffix in your file. So if you have a specific way that you would like to view your files that you imported, you can actually do a little tag on it and help your file structure out that way to see the relevant files in the correct order that you would like to do. At the bottom, you will see we can always add the project and the View Filter Manager together. It's in your tab or home. You will find both those buttons for it. And then the View Filter Manager is where you have a look at all the information, what you see in TBC. So this is where you can switch on and off any of the information. And as you can see, it drills down all the layers you have. There's all the stuff for photogrammetry, all the raw data. You can see if you brought in any of this. Simply by ticking this on and off, you will be able to see or hide data. It won't delete it. It will just remove it from your view, and you can always switch it back on if needed. Quick little tip, if you press Shift and then left click on the minus little button over there, that will automatically close all the View Filter instances that are open. So if you want to, instead of having to click each of these individually, simply hold down Shift and click on that, and that should automatically close all your View Filter boxes that are open. And another important one up here is you can see this is my filter, and the filter will show everything. You can actually create a copy of this or edit this and actually set it up according to your needs on what you want to see. So let's say in a job, you don't want to view all the images from the photogrammetry because you've already processed it, but it always pops up and you want to set a filter that you can easily switch to. You can make a copy, give it a new name, and that, let's say, my new filter, you can actually decide which of these data you want to have switched on or off. And you can just simply switch between those two filters and easily view different view filters and data sets instead of having to physically go. And let's say you want to tick on some of these and tick off the whole time, rather set up a view filter that makes it easier just to switch between the filters instead of having to tick and untick these little boxes every time you want to view or not view data in TBC. Just at the bottom, there's also little tick boxes for the points you can see in your view, plan view. You will then see your show point IDs. It will show you the symbol. It will show you disconnected points. You can even show the feature code that can be switched on and off. Same for observations. You'll see GNSS data types, and further there are other boxes as well to manage what you see in TBC and what is in your view in the TBC plan view. Anything to add, guys? I'm going on here like a steam train. I hope I'm not going too quick. Everybody's keeping up. Okay. Next one up, ribbon layout. So what we're trying to do with the ribbon layout is we're trying to make it as intuitive as possible, that you work from the left-hand side and your next steps that you would progress would go to the right. So as you can see, it's a left to right layout. Photogrammetry is a good example of that as well. But the same here with the survey tab. As you can see at the top, we will start off with your feature code processing. If you want to do a new label library and converting stuff, that'll be your field data that you find. Next up to it would be your GNSS information. So that's where you can download your cause station information. You can process your data, view the time basis, loop, occupation vectors, all that data from the GNSS you can see there. Next to that, you will then find your optical information. So if you want to do traverse adjustments, station editor, level editor, those things will be there. And then next to that will be your network adjustment. So obviously, once you've done all this, your next thing would be network adjustment. Your site calibrations can be found. And then lastly, all your COGO functionality where you can actually do calculations, do legal descriptions, all that will be then on the right-hand side. So we're trying to make it as intuitive as possible to make the workflow go from left to right, and you don't have to wander and to search where you want to go. A quick little tip on that. We know there's a lot of tabs, there's a lot of commands in TBC, and it can be difficult to find a command sometimes. The three of us sometimes struggle finding commands because there's a lot of them. So a quick little tip on how to easily find a command. If you hit the F12 button on your keyboard, that'll open up the command. Just remember the name now, command find or command search. And in there, you can just start typing the name of the command you're looking for. And TBC, in that command window, you will see a drop down of all the commands that relate to, let's say, convert or surface. And anything that has surface in it, that command will pop up. And if you click on that, it will automatically open up that command window for you. So you don't have to go find it in the ribbon somewhere if you don't have time or you don't want to struggle with all the ribbons and finding the right command in there. So F12, it's an easy way to search any and every command in TBC that you're looking for. And then customize and save. This can be done. So if you have a ribbon and you want to customize it to your needs, or your company wants to standardize on how the ribbon looks and everybody knows what to use in it, you can do customization of the ribbon and a quick access toolbar. That can then be saved locally, or you can actually save it into your Trimble ID as well, your TID. So if you sign in with your TID in TBC, you can save that into that TID. So whenever you open up TBC or you have a TBC open anywhere, doesn't matter which laptop or PC, you sign in with your TID, you will always have your Project Explorer and your Project Explorer stuff, your ribbon layouts available to you by simply downloading it from the cloud, and TBC will automatically be set up the way you have it and you're used to it. So that is a very nice way of saving your ribbon layouts and easily find it anywhere, doesn't matter which PC you're working on. So to customize the ribbon layout, you simply have to right-click inside the ribbon. We'll show you in a bit how that works. And that opens up the customized ribbon layout. You will see you have the customize the ribbon, and you can do the quick access toolbar. This is where you will find all the commands in TBC. So if you want to add a command to a specific tab, you can simply click it and then click on the arrow and it will drop it in there. You can also create a new tab for yourself. So let's say you have a specific workflow and you use 5 commands regularly and you want to stick them all into one tab where you can always find them without having to jump into different tabs. You can create your own tab and then go and find the commands you need, populate that tab, and they will be there for you, easy to find without you having to jump into different tabs for the commands you're looking for. You can also hide commands, hide tabs in TBC. So if you know you're not going to use drilling, you're not going to use data prep, or you're not going to use point clouds a lot, you can actually hide those tabs and just make it much easier for you to find your commands in TBC without having a ribbon. You'll see what mine looks like. That stretches from the left to the right of your screen, and there's a whole lot of stuff and information that you don't even need and use a lot. So this is an easy way to set it up. Again, you can see there is your import export options down here. So the export that you can do locally, or you can do it to your TID. And once you've cleaned up, you used your cleanup utility and you reinstalled the new version of TBC, simply go to import, go and find your ribbon layout that you saved, import that, and TBC will automatically have that ribbon configuration set up for you within a few seconds. Quick access toolbar, as I mentioned, sits at the top of TBC, where you have all these quick commands that you can get to. These ones are just the ones that we think would be the relevant ones a lot of people use quite often. But again, as I mentioned, it is all customizable and you can change it. 30 import tools can be done in there if you want to, but simply clicking on the customize again over there, you can add any of these commands into your quick access toolbar, and you can easily then set up commands that you use a lot without having to put them in a specific tab. You can even put them into the quick access toolbar to make it even easier to find and utilize them a lot. Again, this can be saved as your import export option sets there as well. So save it to your TID or locally, and you have that configuration ready to upload when you install a new version of TBC and you have to do it. The reset button down here actually resets the quick access toolbar as well as the ribbon. If you want to change it back to the original and you have some extra commands that you want to add, or you need a tab back that you haven't previously used, you upgraded your license, just click on the reset. It will default back to the standard TBC ribbon, and you can then work from there and customize your ribbon again if you have the need to redo it once you have more commands that you are interested in. User Profile Manager. So this is one that I think not a lot of people use enough, and I think it's very relevant to trying to make it easier for you guys to set up TBC and keep those settings easily at hand and reload it when you do a new version of TBC install on your PC. So this gives you a single location where you can find everything from ribbon customization, your templates that you've done. Let's say you set up specific templates for coordinate systems that you use a lot. That is all there, and then your options and that you can find as well. So this is a simple space, a single location where you can find all that and manage all these settings and information that you saved. You can back up and restore any of the following types of template files. User option templates is a .option file. You can do that in there. The ribbon layout template, it's saved as a .xml file. You can back up and restore them there. And then your project templates, it's .vcl files. That is the same there. You can find all that in one interface, so you don't have to jump around to the different commands that we just discussed. You can actually just go to your User Profile Manager, and it is in the start page. When you get up running, when you start with TBC, you will see it there, as well as in the support tab, you will find the User Profile Manager command that gives you a single interface to find all these files, restore them, and back them up in that location. There we go. As I mentioned, you will see your User Profile Manager sits right there when you open up TBC, as well as in the support tab, you will find it over there. When you open that up, you will find you can get your user options. So as you can see, I've already saved it. It tells you which version of TBC you actually used when you save this, and it gives you the last update that you made to it. It gives you the date and time of that. As you can see at the bottom, you have the delete option. You can save it to local, so you can save it onto your actual laptop or desktop, or if you want to save current, it will go into your TID service there. The same with the ribbon. Again, the different ribbon types, it will tell you what version of TBC, and again, the date and time. Same with the save options. And then if you go into your project templates, this is where you see what is currently on my PC. And these are all the ones that I've saved into the cloud that I can easily access. So you can see again the version of TBC that was used when it was last updated. And you can simply click on it and press OK, and that will then bring those templates into your project. So that makes it easy for you to predefine a lot of different coordinate systems that you use, and you don't want to open up and change the coordinate system every time you do TBC. Simply save a template that's got your coordinate system predefined and pre-set up, and you don't have to worry about the coordinate settings every time you go forward. Keyboard navigation. So we do have a bunch of shortcut keys for TBC commands. As you can see, there is a list. We'll show you where you can find it in the help in TBC, which is very comprehensive. But there is a quick list of all the different shortcut keys we currently have assigned to specific commands. So if you're interested in using, or you do like to use keyboard shortcuts, there is a current list of everything that we have in TBC that you can utilize. If you want to change any of this, or you want to add specific shortcut keys, you can actually do that. If I can get to the next slide, there we go. We have a defined command shortcut window that you can open up in TBC, where you can then set up a specific shortcut key for any of the commands in TBC that you use a lot. So as you can see on this specific instance, I set snap mode to Control F1, and when I close it, it will then remember that shortcut and actually be active in your TBC going forward. So this gets saved into, and if I'm right, Charlie, into the file that goes with the options, or is it with the?
It's the ribbon. So yeah, it's
the
the
ribbon.
ribbon. Once you make the changes to your shortcuts, then go back to your user profile, save your ribbon again, overwrite it, and then that will retain your command shortcuts. And the other note about that is, if that shortcut key that you're trying to map is already mapped, you have to unmap the command from that first. Then you can choose the command that you actually want to be assigned to it first. So it's not just it won't just change it automatically. It basically will only map it if it's unmapped currently.
Yeah. So you will see you can get an Excel report. So if you want to see all the commands that has been mapped, simply click on that Excel report. It will give you a complete report of everything. And you will also see a little red triangle popping up in this corner, if memory serves me right. If that key has already been mapped, you'll see a little red triangle popping up here. That will indicate to you that this command or this shortcut key has already been mapped to a specific command. So then just check in your Excel report which command has actually been mapped to that specific shortcut key. So that's a quick and easy way to look at it, and it will give you immediate feedback if that key has been mapped already or not. So this is an easy way.
I think if you hover over the red triangle, it actually tells you what it's mapped to, so you don't even need to look at the Excel if memory serves.
I think that's correct, Charlie. I think that's what I saw as well. So yeah, it will definitely give you feedback there on what was happening with that command. Okay, Ben, this is all your stuff.
Yeah, here I just wanted to point out, we get a few times, maybe a month, we get asked about rotating in plan view, just like you can in 3D view. So yes, you can, simply by holding down the Control Shift key and with the scroll wheel on your mouse, just point in the direction you want to rotate, and the screen will rotate just like in the view below. It's kind of hard to see with the black background, but yeah, simply point in that direction, it'll rotate. And to get the regular plan view, you need to open another plan view and close the plan view that you rotated in.
You can actually, one thing, if you don't want to do the opening new plan view, if you see, look in the bottom left corner where the scale bar is, you see that red line. That's actually indicating which direction north is. So if you actually just draw approximately that same vector, it will reset it. And you don't have to get it exactly perfect. If you get it close enough, it should reset it to north is up. You can tell that it's north is up if that red line is gone. Or if it's giving you some fits, open another plan view and close the other one, and it'll be reset. Yep.
Good.
And
Here we go. You wanted to say what they?
no, go ahead. It's out of order, so go ahead and go to the next view.
If it wants to. There we go.
There we go. One thing I also wanted to point out about customizing the filters in the View Filter Manager. A lot of times when I work on projects that have a mass amount of point cloud data and then a very large amount of, say, photogrammetry data, LiDAR data, sometimes what I'll do is I'll create my own filter for that specific feature or specific option in the view filter. And that basically speeds up the process of toggling between the filter I create for just point clouds and then one for just photogrammetry data. It's just a quick way of toggling between. So in this case, in the bottom right, I set up a filter for point clouds. I right click on that actual filter and then just click on show hide category. And you know it's been that you have hidden it because the little filter option is kind of covered up behind this view. But you'll see, thank you. Yep, you had it over. That will be grayed out. And so once you save this and go back to my filters or all filters, you will see all the options in your filter manager or all filters. But again, toggling to that point cloud option will, the point clouds will disappear. Just a quick little tip.
Great. And then we have the big live demo stuff to do. So let's jump into that. I'll just quickly get my TBC up and running here. Drag it across and just go into what I talked about. So is that showing on my my TBC up? Thanks, guys. Okay, so into TBC now. So let's see what we have. Startup page, as I mentioned, user profile manager. I'll quickly jump in there. Easy to find. If you go there, simply click on OK. That will open up that specific user options that I have. Let's do a ribbon one. I did this one, and I'll just go OK to show you what it does. So if I go in there, yes, I want to do that. It processes it, and my ribbon is now, as you can see, much smaller and actually has just what I set up for my previous ribbon. So it's quick and easy to do that. When you close it, now you've got your ribbon loaded. So it's very easy and quick to do. The same with your templates. Simply click on the specific one, go to OK, and that would load it up into your template options. So when I do a new project, I would then have the option to use that specific template that I did. If it doesn't do it like that, that's not great. There we go. Let's go back to my start page. There we go. And if I go into new project, my template options would now be available. So as you can see, oh, it didn't do it. My mistake. I didn't load it correctly.
It was saved to local.
Yeah, I didn't do that. That's why I just loaded it up, and you got to go save to local. It will then add it into here, which I would have done. So there we go. And let's see if it does it now. There we go. So now I have it. Important in here as well, you can see the default is selected to blank template. So if you know you are going to use this a lot, simply make that your default one. So anytime you then do a default new project, let's say you go to the top there, you click on new project, it will automatically default then to your specific template that you chose in TBC to start up with. So it makes it a little bit quicker to get a project going in that sense. Anything else about the user profile manager, guys, you want to add? All good. Okay. To reset the ribbon, right click in that little area, go to customize ribbon, and then everything jumps to the wrong side of my screen. There we go. Just go to simple to reset all customizations, yes, and then everything gets back in there. So now you will see everything is available. If I press OK, my whole ribbon is reset back to the default, and you can start working from that again. If you want to customize it, it's as simple as go to customize ribbon, and it goes again to the wrong side. There we go. And if you simply want to hide, let's say corridors, no, we don't do that to Charlie. Oh, I don't want to use drafting. Simply hide it. If you press OK, then drafting will be removed from your ribbon. So it's quick and easy as that. To do anything on the actual ribbon, if you want to go into specific commands, you can do that as well. So simply double click on the little, how many is that? 12 dots on the side there. Then go into field data, and now you will see each individual command you can actually hide and edit if you want to as well, to modify it. Go further down, and you can even select that as an option as well. So there you can see each of these can be individually hidden and removed from the bar if you want to. As I mentioned, the new tab. So if I click that, I can actually go into that custom group. I can edit it and then give it a new name. So we can go test one. You can add an image, an icon if you want to. The size of everything can be set. And then once you've done that, you can create a new group. So you can even group stuff under there and then add commands specifically into that one as well. So if you want to do that, there we go. So now if I go OK, I should have a test one up there. Now, come on, hide. Where's my toolbar? Doesn't want to hide. Let's just do it like that so I can actually find it. Nope, can't do it that way. But you will go to your test one, and that command should be in there. How can I not hide this toolbar? I'll get it now. That's how you can easily customize. And the same with the quick access toolbar. As you can see, these are all the commands currently there. You can hide them, delete them if you want to remove them. If you want to add any of these commands, one I'm always looking for is zoom extents. I use that quite a lot, so I can now simply tell it to add it. And when I go to OK, right at the end of my quick access toolbar, I'll now have the zoom extents button that is always available for me to utilize. Good. Anybody else want to have a go at something they want to show?
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and show a little bit of stuff. Following on to that, one more thing about the ribbon, I'll show you once I get the, let's see here. Let me figure out how to share here. And then we'll do that screen.
Perfect. There you go.
Looking good? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
One more thing, if you want to change the button size of these ribbon buttons, go ahead and let's see, let's do in the cross section, which is this one here. Let's say I want create from CAD to be a large button here. So this one, if we go to edit and then minimum size on ribbon, if you just go large, hit OK, OK, and then that becomes a big button. So that's if you just have trouble finding all the little buttons. Sometimes I change them over and get rid of, make some of the big ones small and make some of the small ones big so that I can see that.
You show that.
Yeah, and so I think I've actually got my settings already set to the large buttons. That's right. So large icons for quick access toolbar is already turned on for me. And that's why my quick access toolbar buttons are larger. Another thing about the quick access toolbar is you can actually, where is the option? Show below the ribbon if you want it closer to your plan view or you know, your view portals. You can certainly move it down there. I think you can actually just drag it. No, you can't. Okay, so show above. I like it up there. So yeah, I think that's all I had on the ribbon stuff. So one thing I wanted to show that's just kind of a little off the cuff. You wouldn't necessarily know it's there unless I told you. So it's kind of hard to see, I think, these lines on my cross-section view here. And this is actually the surface slicer command, but it uses the same view portal as the cross-section. So this works for both cross-section and surface slicer. If you want to thicken up those lines, if you just go into your view filter manager and then, or just straight open the layer manager, change the line weight of the 0 layer to something larger, close it. And then for this surface slicer, I just have to redraw the surface slicer to refresh the view. And you can see now the lines are much thicker, much easier to see. Great for presentation mode, or just if you have a lot going on, it's a little bit easier to see. So that's kind of one of those hidden features there that if you just change the 0 layer line weight, your cross-section view lines will be a bit easier to see there. Oh, and just to show you how the rotate plan view works, right? So this, actually, we've seen roadways that are running more north to south. Kind of doesn't really work that great for your more longitudinal screens. So if we do a click, it's Control Shift and then middle mouse click and drag, and then you basically create the vector that you want to be up. And then you can see there's a red bar here on my scale bar now, and that's just indicating which direction the plan view has been rotated. And so again, to get it back to north is up, just create the vector again and basically mirror the vector of the red line that's on the scale bar. So I'll do one that's not directly east. That way it's a little easier to see what I'm doing. And then just get it somewhat close to what that vector is, and it will reset. As long as the red line is gone, you're back to north is up. If you want to be double sure, just close that plan view command and open a new one there. And then, Albert showed us I think the ideal way to share, or not to share, but to import your ribbon files and all that stuff using the user profile manager. But for instance, if you've got a ribbon from a colleague that you would like to use, so for instance, Scott Bridges is a whiz with takeoffs and especially simplifying the workflow. He shared with me his ribbon, and I want to import that in. I'm going to import that from where I saved it to, and that's the bin file that he shared with me. And we do that, and then I can save that one to my user profile manager. So then I can, so ribbon, and then save current, and then we'll call it Scott's takeoff ribbon. And now I can keep that one with my new versions of TBC, so I don't have to keep asking him for it, which I do because he updates it. But but if it was static, then you would have it, and you can keep bringing that along with you as you update your TBC versions, and so on and so forth. So I think that's all I had. Ben, you have anything you want to show here?
Yeah, I could probably show just a couple of small things.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes, Ben, and we've got to get to some Q&A because I see we only have
Okay.
about 27 questions to get through.
Okay. I don't know if this is in the way.
If we can, we'll see how far we get with this.
Is that in the way?
Yeah, it's got all that stuff.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. I kind of hit on, what should I show? So one thing about in the view filter manager, if you want to, say you want to move one of the layers to a different location. So I know a lot of times the CAD layer will when you import like a DXF or something, it'll end up at the very bottom. If you go to advanced view filter settings, here's the CAD. Simply right click on it and you should be able to. right click on it and hit the move up option, and you can move it to any position in your view filter. What else can I show? You would have to hit apply for that to save, but say for instance you want to increase the size of your the numbers in of your points in plan view. You can go up to project options, and down below for object labels, hitting the 3 buttons, you can save that to different size, different font style. So when I hit OK and then OK, my points now are much larger. My eyesight's getting worse, so this is actually very helpful. Let's see, small little tip. You hit F4, that's recompute, rather than having to hit the red button up above or down below. Just hit F4 and that'll recompute. Albert touched on F12. You hit F12, the command pane will open up. If I want to recompute or zoom, just hit ZOM or OO. Well, you can see down here, it's one of the options that pops up right away. I can zoom extents. Is that 2 minutes?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Tagging
Let's have a look at
show tagging.
Yeah, I forgot to show tagging too, so I'm going to jump on
Yeah.
it real quick and show that.
all good.
Forgot about that one. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So Project Explorer, and so if we show the properties of these files, there's a tag field here. Here, this helps if I don't have mine hiding. Let me keep that expanded and keep that expanded. Okay, so if you want to reorganize your files, so let's just call this design, and then engineering. You'll see that this will then prepend the name with design space, and I'll just do like dash space, and then it will put an appendix on the end of it that says engineering. And so if I go like that, then it changes the name for me in here without actually changing the file name, right? So this helps me in sorting my data in the way that I want. So I can basically do like topo in front of all my topo files. Engineering plans can all be all in one group there. And so this helps you kind of organize all the data you've imported into your TBC project so that it's easy to kind of find each of those files as you start to accumulate a bunch of them. It becomes a little bit harder to track. So that's one feature it's relatively new. So if you didn't know about it, you're not too bad off. That one's only about a year or two old. So something that helps you out with your data management there.
You want to show how you pin the panes?
Oh yeah, sure. So I think I use my toolbars a bit differently than most people. I spend a lot of time doing like 3D modeling and stuff. So I want the most real estate to actually view my models. And so I hide all this stuff. And so it's just literally hit this pin button and it'll pin it to the side. And then when you come over to it and hover over the tab, it'll pop that open for you as you need it. And then, yeah, I mean, so like these are actually docked separately. I think by default, if you open the Project Explorer and all these, they all are under one UI with several tabs. And so if you basically pull them out, just grab the tab and drag it out separately from the UI and then dock them each individually, then you can have them kind of like these bars that I've done where they are all separate as tabs on the side rather than as one UI and then having to change them. So there's a lot of different ways you can customize your views depending on how you want to use it. So just kind of play around with it. Honestly, if you just drag the window somewhere and then, drag it to wherever you want it to dock, it'll kind of show you the outline of wherever it's going to dock when you let go. So just kind of play around with it and make it work for you.
Great. Thanks, Charlie.
All right. I guess it's
Appreciate.
probably time we quit demoing and talking about our software and answering
Yeah,
some questions,
we
huh?
probably had to get some answers and questions. Let's see if we can get there and see if I can find my share screen quickly here so I can actually do that little bit. There we go. And go to there. There we go. Q&A side. Okay, so let's go into some Q&A stuff. So, Ben, your favorite topic. I'm just going to quickly get that out to you. The AMD support. I know we currently looked at it. What is the current status of AMD support?
The current status, we still don't support it. And what I mean by support, we have not done absolutely no testing with an AMD processor. You can do your work on an AMD processor or on a PC that has an AMD processor, but you're taking the risk of the possibility of something happening to your project. I know some folks, they use an AMD processor, they haven't had any issues, but again, we don't support it. So we hold no responsibility for the work that you're doing on your PC. But then again, a lot of people are doing their work. A lot of times it's point cloud processing or photogrammetry work. They have no issues with it. But again, we take no responsibility for it. We have done zero testing on a PC with an AMD processor. So
thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. Emmanuel, I will get your question out to our photogrammetry specialist, Tom Wittmer. He will be able to enlighten you a little bit more on your question. So we'll get that out to him. Mikael, with when convert to Rhinex utility, will export to Rhinex 4 point anything? Does that ring a bell, guys? What just want to see the question is a little bit cryptic.
What was the question?
Basically, updating support for Rhinex 4 point whatever.
Oh, that is coming. We don't support it yet, but we are testing that. No guarantees on when that's going to be available, but it is something on our roadmap, and we are currently working on it.
Yeah.
Albert, our first question of the day, I think, is right up your alley here.
Yeah.
I will be a fresh new user of TBC. What's my best path to start learning this software?
Great. I've got that saved for last. Don't spoil my
you got
fun
that one
yet,
saved for
Johnny.
last. Okay, gotcha.
I've got a nice big slide for that and everything, so all good. I'll get to that question just now. Don't worry.
Good stuff.
We'll definitely get into that one. Can the font size be changed for the font in the command box, layers, etc.?
Nope.
Nope.
None of the command UIs are customizable in terms of font size. Just the command ribbon stuff, and then the points that Ben just showed.
Yeah. And then another question: why only 50% of RAM?
That is something that we're working on. It's on a roadmap. We are currently investigating that. There is a specific reason why we limit it to 50%. There are certain processes where when you're processing point clouds, that if it exceeds 50%, your PC would lock up. It's not every case, so don't worry about when you're classifying point clouds or doing feature extraction. There's very, very, very few situations where if you were to up it to say 75%, if you had that option, there could be issues with your PC. But again, it's something we're investigating, because we know that if you invest $5,000 into a PC and you have RAM that can most definitely process more than 50%, we understand that that's something that you would definitely want to utilize. So we are investigating it. It's not necessarily a simple switch, but it is something that we're currently looking at. I can't guarantee there's going to be a change in the next release, but we do understand as PCs keep increasing in size and expense, we totally understand that you want to utilize that RAM. So please be patient. We'll have something hopefully to update you with this year. hopefully.
Okay, all good. I see we've already hit top of the hour, so we still have a lot of questions, guys. What we'll do is we'll work through these. We'll send it off to the relevant product manager that can help you out with that, and we'll get them to answer you directly. I see there was a lot in the chat as well, guys. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the chat questions we'll be able to get your details on, but we'll try and get to everyone as well in there. The important part I need to get to is resources and where to go for what. So there you have it. Let me just switch on that little. So asking about learning and how to get into the latest stuff in TBC if you're a brand new user. That e-learning one over there, that is where you can go into the support tab, go to e-learning. In there we have a virtual machine set up now where you can learn 67 new courses. Right, recently we added, and all that will give you the option to do 67 different workflows in TBC, just getting started. Anything from how the ribbon and the layout works into the layout of TBC, from point cloud processing to aerophotogrammetry processing and anything in between will be able to be found there. The tutorials is a great way to get some sample data if you want to test out a new workflow. That's good. All the power hours, it is been recorded, so everything can be found in this little button. If you go there, this recording would probably be up by end of the week, beginning of next week already. So go into there and you can find any power hour that we've done since 2016, if memory serves me right. You will be able to find that.
Can I jump in real quick, Albert?
Go.
On the e-learning stuff, all those new courses that Albert put a lot of hard work into on the virtual machines, it's got a license for you.
Yeah.
So one really good benefit is you don't have to tie up a production machine license while you're bringing on a new hire who's trying to learn TBC. You can have them use this separate from a production machine, so you can stay at your level of production and still bring on new folks to learn there.
Yeah, good point there, what Charlie made there. Also, if you don't have, let's say, the photogrammetry or the point cloud module, and you just want to have a quick look at how it operates, you can always use that environment, or you can use a 30-day free trial. If you haven't done that previously, that's just a subscription trial license you can get for 30 days, and you will have the complete Trimble access at Trimble TBC licensing available to you in that 30-day trial if you want to test TBC out that way. So these are the two options you have. And then on the web page, this TBC resources PDF is a great way of finding anything and everything relating to TBC. I don't even know if that's a 100-page PDF document, if it's even more than that at the moment.
I think it's more than that.
And one thing
massive.
I want to add about that, Albert, that is updated bi-weekly or monthly.
Monthly at least.
We do update that very frequently. So the resource page, that presentation will actually have this power hour linked in there. So so definitely check out that. Another thing I want to point out, we spend a lot of time. We have a specific tech writer that invests a lot of time with the release notes in the README. So whenever we have a release, please check those out. I know when I was working in the industry, I never opened those. I never read them. I highly recommend with each release, open those, check out what we've added. There's a lot of information, not just on the new commands that we've implemented, but there are certain workflows that we recommend how you should go through and execute those commands. Those might be in the README as well. So please check those out.
Good. Thanks, Ben. And then just lastly, the YouTube channel, guys. If you want short little 5 to 10 minute videos on a specific workflow, especially on the new stuff that we add each release, go in there. You can just have a look. It's a live demonstration in TBC of how the specific command works. It explains a little bit about the settings and all the stuff that you need to do with the command, why we have it there, what that settings affect, and then see how the workflow runs. So if you want to sit back and have a look at a video or two and be able to see what certain commands do, the YouTube channel has quite an extensive array of videos that you can utilize to see certain specific commands and how they work and what they do. With that, I think we have gotten to the end of our time, a little bit over. Charlie, Ben, thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate you guys being with us. Thanks to everyone that joined us today. We appreciate it. As I said, the recording will be up in the next few days if you want to have a look at this. We will have a look at all the questions we got, and maybe we'll do a follow-up webinar, because I think there's still a lot of stuff we can go into. So maybe we'll do a follow-up on this in the future. Thanks again, everyone. Really appreciate your time, and see you at the next Power Hour at the end of March. Have a great day, evening, afternoon, and we'll catch you again soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.